On the last play, was that ball supposed to go into the end zone?
Well, yes, but it's also what you're trying to set up.
So you're taking the loss on your back.
I mean, those are, crucial points, right? Those are crucial turnovers. So for me, I'm just going to, go back to the routine and preparation and all that. But those 6 points, those are crucial swings.
The Atlanta Falcons lose a tough one to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home in Mercedes Stadium. This 6-7 Atlanta Falcons team is currently sitting at second place in the NFC South. Tampa Bay Buccaneers have the first place spot, but this division has 3 teams that are 6-7 that can win this division. Absolutely unbelievable, but let's talk about the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to start it out this way. Desmond Ridder is playing good. He had a good game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There was also a very, very, very good game by Drake London. Absolutely phenomenal. But I want to be able to paint a picture about Desmond Ridder and have what I say not be dismantled because Drake London decided to pop off as well. Because some of those catches that Drake London had, Desmond Ridder was just throwing it up in the air. Like, let's keep it a buck. So, Desmond Ridder goes 26 of 40, 347 yards, and a touchdown, okay? Had a QBR of 54.5. That's not great, but this is where he really shocked me with his ability, with the quick passes and just getting the ball out in the beginning of the game. In the beginning of the game, everything was just get the ball out, get it to the athletes, get it to Bijan. I think Bijan had 3 consecutive completions to start off the game, 3 consecutive touches to start off the game, that's for sure. Another thing that Desmond Ridder did, and it only shows in the gap of his longest run being the 7-yard touchdown scamper, his ability to use his legs. Sometimes I think that he needs to just have more of a running style approach to the game, where he needs to have a designated package of about 10 carries a game, because why not? I think that would just open up things a little bit more if his legs are a legitimate threat. Legit. And I just feel like Arthur Smith has that in his wheelhouse, and he's just locking it up in the garage and not letting that take effect. Desmond Ridder needs designed runs, I feel like. Zone read, designed runs, or quarterback power options, things like that. And in that same facet, that's going to get him more comfortable in the game. That's going to get some nicks and crannies out. And usually when quarterbacks get hit, they get those jitters out and they start balling. They start going about their business. 347 yards. I don't care who you are in the National Football League. You could play. All right. I'm going to start by saying that. Another thing that's big about this channel is accountability. And the things that I have said about Desmond Ridder, I don't know if I am wrong, but I will say that he's on his pedestal telling me, Miles, shut up. Anytime I can get us 347 yards, if my guys start competing at a high level like Drake London did. Now, this is what I'm talking about. 10 catches, 172 yards. That has to happen more and more often. Now, in my personal opinion, the reason why this was able to happen is a lot of those Tampa Bay Buccaneers corners, including their safety, who's 5'9", a lot of them are tiny. A lot of that secondary for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are fairly tiny. So, of course, I would want my 6, whatever it is, Drake London to have a good game. Kyle Pitts, 3 receptions, 57 yards, and his wide open 36-yarding touchdown. Okay, so whether it's concepts with that 36-yarder with Kyle Pitts, or if it's Drake London just being a man and having to moss both Antoine Winfield Sr. and Carlton Davis Jr., those are their best players. Those are their best players within the secondary, at least. Antoine Winfield and Carlton Davis III are their best secondary assets. And Drake London mossed the F out of both of them. So this tells me one of two things. A, I don't understand any way how 10 receptions can't be a dang near floor for Drake London. Not saying every game he gets 10 receptions, blah, blah, blah. I need him to continuously make these really jaw-dropping catches, absolutely phenomenal catches. And Mike Evans is on the other side of the field getting frustrated because he only has 1 reception on 6 targets. And those were the compared prototypes when Drake was coming out, was Mike Evans. You see Drake London having a Mike Evans game with 10 receptions and 172 yards. So I love the weapons of Atlanta. That's always been my thing. That's always been why I've been really wanting to push Desmond Ridder out, is because I love the weapons. We weren't able to get the run game going. 10 rushes for Mr. Bijan for only 34 yards. He does get in the end zone. And then 9 carries for Tyler Algier only gets us 40 yards. The offensive line had, okay, I'll say it like this. You know, my buddy is just like ripping up Desmond Ridder. And I would rather be right about Desmond Ridder than look dumb by dogging Desmond Ridder, even though he's having an okay game. And now, there were a lot of dropped interceptions. There was the Carlton Davis hands to the face on Drake London, where Desmond Ridder throws it into double coverage, and Antoine Winfield picks it off. That wasn't, that's not an interception. But even with that being said, my buddy, he's really dogging out everything that's happening in the run game. Like, let's get Bijan going. Let's get Bijan started. You guys had 3 of your offensive linemen out, 3 starters out. The run game's not going to happen. And that's why I'm also continuously giving Desmond Ridder praise, because he had 3 starters out and he was able to complete the ball 26 times for 347 yards. I have to hang up my quote unquote hater hat, even though it's a hat that I earned. I have no agenda against Desmond Ridder. It's just what I've seen. And he just played good yesterday. Now, I don't think that changes my overall opinion on the guy. I just think he played really good yesterday. And then just along with the quick plays, the one interception that he did have was that screen where Carlton Davis just cut it and picked it off. This was a tough game, and I like Young Ho Koo. I think he is an awesome kicker. I think his confidence is absolutely astronomical. I think he has an aura about himself that screams confidence. I like this game for him, and I like it also with the loss, because it tells him in the back of his head that if he was able to get those 2 field goals that he missed, hell, no matter what, this is a completely different game. The 6 points puts it at 31-29. They're winning the game if he doesn't miss the 2 field goals. So I'm happy that he gets to be humbled, and not saying he's overly cocky. I'm not saying he deserves a miss, but there is a certain rhythm that you can get with your kicking that you would want these kickers to kind of dial it back in, get back to the drawing board, and understand, yes, you have won games, which he has done, and with the helmet flick, everything was sexy with that. I love that. But as things are pushing into a playoff atmosphere, I'm happy that it just happens now for him, to where when those games where everything counts, everything's going to count, it's not going to be as bad. But looky here, the Panthers are here to save the day. You have a tough loss, 29-25 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But next week, believe it or not, you get the privilege and honor of playing the defeated Carolina Panthers. A tune-up game, a nice game. They do have a good defense, so it should not be a necessarily walk in the park. But with that being said, this is a team that is lacking heavily on the offensive side, so the defense should have a field day, a fun day, a day to rack up some statistics. And Desmond Ridder, prove me wrong again. That's all I want you to do. Prove me wrong again. Once again, no agenda against Desmond Ridder. Have nothing against the guy. If anything, I've given him grace. But I want you to continuously have games the way you just did against the Bucs. I think this Panthers game should be a blowout in the sense of, hey, I see something with Drake London. This offensive line, hopefully they get a little bit healthier. The run game can go up a bit, and then Desmond Ridder get the ball out, make the right decisions. Let's get some touchdowns. Like, comment, and subscribe.